Morning folks, welcome to Joaquin Marsh. Yes, I said I was going to come here yesterday and I'm not disappointed. I've only been here 10 minutes. I'm going to have to do these updates very regularly because things are constantly happening and I'm getting pictures and film and I'm going to forget what I've seen. So I've just come in and parked in the overflow. I don't know, there was a car park on the left as you drive in. I couldn't see anyone else park, so I was unsure where to park. So just to make sure, I just parked in there. And I felt secure. That's the white car over there on the right, the last one. And I could spend loads of time in this area here, but the Merlin is showing all the usual birds that I don't want to get stuck doing. I'm here for new stuff. But a few things of, like at the moment, there's an Anna's hummingbird on this tree here. There's actually a song sparrow right underneath it. But an Anna's hummingbird, I got video, tripod footage, and some photos because I could fill the frame with it. And in the marsh in front, there's all the yellow rump warblers and etc. And common yellow throats, which I love photographing. They're great birds. But currently there's a red-shouldered hawk over there calling. It was further out, but it's come over. Yeah, and Canada geese. Is it Canada geese? Yeah, Canada geese. And just had some Egyptian geese go over. It was like 2 seconds. By the time I got the camera exposure right, I'd caught them just for the record to go on my list as another species seen. But yeah, I popped onto the other side of the road just to see what was in that kind of rubbishy area in the water over there. And the usual, I mean, a spotted sandpiper, I assume, down on one of the little islands. Apart from that, the usual great white egret and snowy egrets. And there was, yeah, just American coots on the other side. So a couple of expected bits over there, but I don't want to get trapped looking over there when all the action is here. And I expect I'm going to definitely have to come back and do a lot more here at some point. But anyway, yeah, that's the ball rolling. And sorry, what I'll do is I'll walk around see some of the signs in the visitor center. Right, am I allowed in? No, I'm not. That looks cordoned off. I better have a look at this. What does it say? Sorry, just caution, do not enter, aggressive bees in area. Ah, okay. And we've just got about 20 Canada geese going over. Aggressive bees. Okay, I hope we can still do most of the reserve though. Right. So yeah, it does say in here parking lot, but like I said, I didn't see any cars. Now they're all parking, so I must have, yeah, now I must have got here before everyone else did. Yeah, look, everyone's getting out now. So yeah, so it's spinning you around here. So okay, there's nature trail with the big arrow. Let's try that. A 300-acre water filter cleverly disguised as a nature reserve. There we go. And the good thing is today it's overcast, which means, yeah, it's not going to be as hot as yesterday. And the pictures will be nicely exposed. Okay, I don't know which way to go here. It's overload. There's a nature trail there, and then it doesn't say any nature trail there. Oh, let's go and have a look at this map. Sorry, I'm new to this. I looked it up only to ask if there are any conditions, payment or anything like that. All right, so let's have a look here. Okay, there you are here, and the caretakers. Okay, so I assume we're walking around any of these, I guess. Yeah, we'll walk through here and look at these houses. And yeah, to there and then off to the pond and the South Loop Trail. Let's try that, Meadows Butterfly Garden. Yeah, that's good as anything. Let's go. Yeah, I had our first look out and it's already jackpot. Great stuff. No major finds just yet, but upgrades to all my previous stuff, several of them from the previous trip and from the previous couple of weeks. But the loop I just did, it's not to scale. It looked like it was a huge loop, like you sort of walked around here and you see loads of stuff, but it's a small bit of a garden. I think there are some private residences on the right as you go around this loop inside just after the entrance. And it does say private residence, and it's like a little bridge and flowers and bushes. And I keep almost getting caught in those, trying to get yellow throats and other things. I'm like, no, get out to the main reserve. You can do this anywhere in people's backyards practically. So yeah, I walked up through here, the sign, and we're at the sort of the proper reserve area. And as soon as I walk out, I'm like, yeah, right, there are loads of things dotted around. Straight away, I can see the western grebes. And I remember when I got my first one, was it up in Moss Landing, I think, or out on the ocean. Yeah, this is, I mean, I'm getting their head filling the frame. So they've just been coming up really, really tame, chasing off each other in front of me. Everything is, yeah, much tamer. There's a, what else? Just, yeah, I mean, they're dotted all over, right, all over this pond. They're probably the most numerous of the birds here at the moment, besides the American coots. And then just to the left here, there's a little pied billed grebe, just having a sleep, its head's tucked in. There's something making a noise in these reeds, and I think it might just be a frog, because I don't see any reeds moving, but every so often I hear a sort of a groan or something from down there, unless it's a pipe or a filtration system. Now, there are, I'm gonna try and get a picture of it. There's one there now. There's a martin up there, but I can't tell in this, it doesn't, if it comes a bit closer, I'm not gonna be able to ID the species probably, because it'll be some sort of, I mean, I've got shots that might be able to be ID'd by Merlin. Yeah, I've got, I mean, that's a clear enough photo. It's very misty. Might have a tiny bit of reddish pinkish on its chest. I mean, obviously I'm trying to go house martin. I don't know how, I don't think house martins are over here, but there are so many different species of martins in the Americas. And something that, oh look, here's a yellow throat. Look, just flew across there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a picture. If you can sit still for 2 seconds. Nope, his head is behind a reed. Hold on, let me just, he's doing very, oh, he's being very nice. Now stick your head, his head's hidden behind a reed. Please, just kind of look this way, Bit more, yeah. How's those? I'm working at 1/100th of a second, which is a bit slow. Right, there it is, yeah. I've got the sharpness. Good. He looked left away from the reed. There was a reed covering his face. Awesome. So is he still sitting there? That was very nice of him. I've never seen a common yellowthroat sit still for so long. Oh, no, he's down here. Wow. Okay, this is going to be one of the tame ones. Yeah, so at this point, so yeah, a nice American bird came by and gave me this map. And I don't know how much I'm going to leave of that in, show you what we talked about. He mentioned the surf scoter, and which, yeah, sorry, here it is. I got it going by there. I was checking all the birds, and sure enough, this one turned out to be surf scoter. So that's the closest I've got so far. I've got the video from Monterey of the flock, and then the photos from San Diego on the boat ride, and then a bit of video here of the single one. Right, and yeah, the other upgrade is I got some pictures of a cinnamon teal, which was a lifer in Las Vegas 2 years ago. And here, there was literally the first thing I saw in the closest birds. And when I was looking at them, I initially thought shovelers. And I thought, no, I don't recognize that plumage. And they do look kind of cinnamon. And I couldn't remember exactly what the cinnamon teal looked like, because they were distant when I got them in Las Vegas. But yeah, I've just checked, and I'm 99.9. I've just checked corresponding images. So I've got some amazing video of the cinnamon teal. And I should have snapped off a couple of pictures, which I will do. I'm sure I'll see them again. They look pretty tame. But yeah, like we're going to go to this Pond C. Apparently there are lots of ducks there. Now we better get a move on, because this day is going to fly by. But I definitely, yeah, I know I'm coming back here for sure. Yeah. Don't forget my other phone, which has it been recording? No, it hasn't. I should have left it recording the audio. Right. Exciting. Yes, that American chap was not kidding. Pond C is the place. Yeah, dynamite. Yeah, just quickly, the two ponds. There was a pond in front of the car park where I parked. That's dry. That was actually one of the ponds. That was pond. Where are we? Looks like a pond D. Hold on, let me get this right. We're at pond C, so I think it's pond B and pond D are dry. Yeah. So pond D is dry in the map, but pond B says it's got water, which it hasn't. So yeah, anyway. So what happened was, I've got so much to catch up on. Okay, first things first, we finally got a gadwall, which, see all the time in the UK. Just the beginning of the pond, I could see there were loads of other things, but we just got a bit of video of those just to make sure we got them covered. And then, what's that bird? Osprey. so common that people aren't even pointing their cameras at them anymore. Yeah, they see them all the time. They're probably the equivalent of ravens here or something like that. But I got some slow-mo, and in this light actually works out quite well because the heat haze is low. Excellent. I'll get it all day long. I'll never stop taking, even if the sky was full of ospreys, I'd just be getting as much footage as I could. And I'll do some brief of the small ones. There was a Sez flycatcher popped down here. The Phoebes are everywhere, but this was a Sez one as usual. Flew over. I thought it was going to be the California Towie. Then, okay, let's start moving on to. I was looking out for strays. There, just get past all the. Oh, one moment. Okay, one moment. That's just popped up. 1 minute. That's. Whoa. Okay, sorry. Funny. I just start filming and something I don't recognize pops up. Yeah, that's what is that? I'm trying to think what that looks like. Some sort of golden eye or something. I do not recognize you at all. It keeps ducking down. Well, yeah, sorry. So what will I do? I'll put it up and I'll put the name under when I find it. I don't have time to find it at the moment because I'm talking to you. And yeah, just trying to juggle about 8 different things. Okay, let's move through. So the Gadwall, and then loads of ruddy duck everywhere. Yeah, they're always sleeping for some reason. What's all that about? I want some, especially in this weather, I want some nice footage of the males because the white bit on the males always blown out in the sunlight. So I've just filmed lots of random bits to put together. I've actually been forgetting to mention most of the time I see them because they're so regular. But yeah, the flock, I mean, the flock's at this sort of northern end of the western end of the pond here. Now, yeah, I didn't have to worry about that cinnamon teal at the other pond because there's several here and I've just been getting my fill. They've just been resting up along here. And yeah, the males are stunning birds. I don't know how common they are. Americans might be saying, yeah, we see those everywhere in parks and everything like that. I recall when I uploaded it to X all those couple of years ago, there weren't many likes. I don't think people cared about them. But the other one was I finally got a lifer, which is subtle, very, very subtle. And I've never known that you get them occasionally in the UK. And they're called green-winged teals, American teals. And the difference between our Eurasian green-winged teals is the American ones have a white wing bar on the shoulder, which I'll show you. I'll point to it on the video or the photo I use. So it's very, very, very subtle. But that counts as a lifer. I've never chased them in the UK when they've popped up on bird guides or on X or on Facebook. They've always been distant. They've always been, I don't know what I'm looking at now. They're nice and close. I've been trying to get video, although not successfully, of ones that have the very, very clear white wing bar. So it's obvious. It's like, oh yeah. And is that all? Yeah, it's very, very subtle. I don't know if they can interbreed with the Eurasian ones. I'm sure there's statistics and data that shows they do. And then off to the races with more blue-winged teal. Very, very obvious now. Those are stunning birds. They're really, really cool looking birds. I've got plenty of video and photos of those because I think the photo I took, Bolsa Chica, was a single. And I thought, why didn't I get more angles? So here I am getting, when they're to the right facing, left facing, coming ahead of me, standing. Yeah, I'm just filling my boots. And as I pan for strays, because there are snowy egrets and coots everywhere, I did manage to get a couple of, not the most unusual, but another bird list one, is the 2 Drake pintails over there in the middle. I got my little bins because it's just easier to sort of like, I just look through one and I'm looking at the edges of the reeds for any rails or anything a bit more impressive than your waterfowl. A lot of people don't like waterfowl. I remember hearing people say that. Oh, I just do raptors and kingfishers. And it's like, well, you're kind of limiting yourself. There are so many birds. And yeah, northern shovelers, where I got the photo of the flock the other day, northern shovelers are plenty here. And I just had a big flock of bush tits go through in the 3 bushes around me, very, very close. And I fired off loads of shots. I think I did get a little bit of decently usable 4K with a bit of twig in the way or branch in the way, but it's nice. It will look good on the screen. It will look nice and pin sharp, razor sharp. So those are the small birds. There are things flitting around in the back, all the usual. I think I saw an orange crown warbler, a common yellowthroat in these reeds, but I'm trying desperately not to take those. Over here to the east of me, maybe a flock of 20 to 30 least sandpipers. but I think we're good there. I think we've caught up with pretty much everything. We're going to have to really power walk because we've got a family visit about midday. Oh, it's 9:15. It takes about 24 minutes to drive here. So I've got to bear that in mind when I leave. And I get back, I have a quick shower, and we get on the road. So I'm sure I could squeeze in another hour and 20 minutes if I get off of this now and get on with it, which I think I'm going to do. Right, I've decided I put the camera on the tripod here, the selfie stick, to film the update of the vlog. There's been a few bits and it's very busy with wrens over here. I've got my blue-grey gnat catcher finally, a sort of 90% sharp couple of shots. It was moving too quickly, the light was horrendous, but I'm not sure if it's a lifer because I think I've got black-tailed and something else from Costa Rica and something from Las Vegas. But I'm guessing it's not, but it's good to go on the list as definitely a seen and photographed. And then there was a flock of white pelicans went over, which is unusual for LA. We only saw them up in Monterey. I don't know if the white pelicans were coming to land, but they seem to circle and drift north. So I don't know if they're heading up to the Monterey area to join their brethren, where the numbers are. Oh, right, I'm having to angle things to get out of the heat. It's getting very, very hot. Yeah, so we had a nice surprise. I'll just get to that first. There was these gulls. I thought they were terns because they were diving into the water. These gulls looked like black-headed gulls. And these guys, and I was like, what are they? And I thought, well, they might be black-headed from the UK, will they? So I didn't know. I got some slow-mo. That was the only way I could catch them. The thing about these ponds from 6 to 4 to 5.3 and most of 2, there's limited viewing points. They give you a little sort of slip, a little slither of something you can stand on and look through the reeds, and then the reeds are overlooking you, and all the paths around the edges are just covered in tree-lined. And I mean, the birds in there, were hummingbirds, and my Merlin app was pinging up all the usual, the common yellowthroat, the house finch. There was the American kestrel, distant, but just for some numbers for what you can expect to see here, because there was another osprey pass. It was above my head by the time I saw it, and the reason I didn't see it coming in was because the hen northern harrier came in low over one of the ponds, and then it went behind a tree. If I was on the ball, I would have ran around and tried to get it as it was going over my head, but it's gone west, so it must be doing circuits. So I've got to make sure I'm not chimping in my camera and see what I've just taken pictures of. I did get some record pictures of the gull for ID, but I probably got some better video and a bit of handheld on the water for the 4K from one of the very limited viewing points. A little bit of song sparrow was on the ground, and had to really compensate for the shadows, but they're always good as gold. I mean, this one was like 8 feet away, and as it's got a bit quiet up this end compared to earlier on in the vlog, I'm trying to fill in as many bits of video as I can to keep you entertained. I've just seen the common yellowthroat that I missed. It focused on the leaf in front, the leaf in front. Keep an eye on the raptors. There's probably a lot of turkey vultures. Yep. You know what? I'm messing up a lot of my words, probably because I'm extremely thirsty. Oh, a lifesaver. I think another bird that came up on Merlin was a white-breasted nuthatch, which would be a lifer for me. I haven't seen one of those. Sorry, just had to have a big drink there. Okay, yeah, it's getting very hot now and things will calm down with the birds, but I'm still hearing and seeing lots of stuff, and the Bonapartes was a big surprise. That was nice. Okay, we're going to keep moving on and just, we'll probably be here another half an hour, but a great little day. I might come back here if I'm struggling to find anywhere else to go. I think I've kind of hit it. What I want to do really while I'm here, because who knows when the next time is I'll come to California or even LA, is I want to get to parks and other reserves that I haven't got to yet. There might even be small parks. I want to get to Huntington Park. Somebody recommended that and that looks decent. And there are other bits and pieces. I need to make sure as many places are as covered as possible. Okay. Yeah, so this section between pond 2 and 3 on the western end is where some amazing raptor action and other action is going on. So I'd walked over, I'd just seen the northern harrier. I walked over to pond 2 because what had happened was, as I was standing there just finishing up, big white bird just appeared to my left. The pelicans, the white pelicans, and they were really low. I mean, I had to zoom back to 200 millimeters. and I opted for some photos because they were that close, and I had to really compensate for the white. So I think I went down to ISO 400, not ISO 400, ISO 400, yeah, 400. So really, really low. So I didn't blow out those highlights, and they look so beautiful, really crisp shots. I've zoomed in, made sure the heat haze wasn't affecting them, and they're not. They're pretty good. And yeah, so I snapped off a few of those, and then they circled and went higher and higher. And I carried on round pond 2, and then there's an island in pond 2. That's why, because they were all on that island, roosting, nesting, preening, washing with some cormorants. I didn't get a chance. I was filming it with a camera here, you can see. I was filming it with my phone camera, and then I was about to pick up my bins and look and what else was on this platform and what else was in this pond. And then I saw a raptor land in the tree to my left. And I thought it's got to be the red-tailed hawk, but could be red-shouldered hawk. They like to land. But then because of the northern harrier, I thought it can't be, can it? So I quickly grabbed I couldn't tell from that distance. I ran round here and I walked along this path until I could see it in the tree about 50 meters down from a distance. So what it is, I found a hole in the trees that I could at least just get some record footage of it. The heat haze was really bad. The plan was get the footage, fill the frame, and then get closer. So I set the camera up, and you know, I closed one eye because, like I've said before, I always think that predators see two eyes as a predator. So if I close one, maybe it doesn't think I'm a predator and is not jumpy. And for whatever reason, I'm not saying it worked, but I got pretty close. The heat haze was really bad. I got enough to show you, and then I moved a bit closer to a point where I could get through with a couple of twigs. Set the camera up, manually focused on it. Heat haze was much lower. And while I was sort of adjusting again and getting ready to take another step forward, I wasn't making any big movements. It just flew off casually. So I don't think I scared it. It saw me, absolutely. Of course it saw me. And for whatever reason, they're not worried about humans. Super happy, but I've just forgotten that. So that story lined up with that. But before the pelicans, not before the pelicans wandered off that way in a circle. And I saw some other raptors. I checked on them. They were red-tailed hawks, but there were lots of things going on, and I was double checking on them because they look smaller than red-tailed hawks. And this is awful footage. I apologize. I got photos off. They didn't want to come close, so my camera really struggled to get any kind of crisp photos or video. White-tailed kites, I assume, like I got at Morro Bay out in the field on the way home a couple of weeks ago. So they're here. I mean, this place is excellent. Yeah. None of this, apart from the pelicans, is going to be great photos or video at the moment because of the heat conditions. But it just shows you what you can get here. If you got here just as there was a little bit of diffused lighting, it would be brilliant. Yeah, this is an absolute top spot that how did I never know about before or up until this point in LA. And it's good I found it a couple of days to go. And who knows what else I'm going to get. Let's carry on round again. And just a quick update. Managed to get, I think, 1 or 2 shots of a Buick's or Berwick's wren. They're pretty tame, but they're always in the shadows, so it's hard to get a good photo. Every time I took one, the tail was either in light and the body was in shadow, and then back to front. I got one usable. I don't know if it's any better than the previous one. I won't know until I get back on the computer. From up in Monterey when I first got it. The surf scoter is still out there. I'm going to see if I can find an angle to get a better bit of video. I don't think I'll get as good as from earlier. That was pretty good. From here, there's going to be a load of heat haze. Lots of the western grebes, and every so often one of the Bonapartes goes by. I want a better picture of those. And if I didn't say, for those of you who don't know, I come from London, Kent, and we've had a return one returning for 12 years straight now. Every summer it comes back. And it's been the star. Big. I don't think there's any other bird in the UK that's done that. But now I'm seeing them in their natural environment. And there are also, that has got to be a royal tern. I did hear somebody say there's skimmers here. So I must keep my eye out for that. And for a second I thought, is that one of them? But it wouldn't be up that high, would it? That must be, I think that's an osprey up there, very high. I'm not going to bother filming that. It could just be a gull. Was there anything else I needed to, sorry, one moment. Oh yeah, sorry, that was it. The swallows, I've been getting a few better picked. They're not keepers, they're just for IDs. Tree swallows. You might have been shouting at the screen saying, well, that's what the common bird is out there. It says it's very common in North America. So that's what it's very likely to be. The one I saw at the beach in Monterey, I couldn't get a very good angle on it. It could be a tree swallow, it could be anything, but I can't confirm anything. So the swallow that I've got on my list of seen birds for the number of species I've seen here, where I've just put swallow with a question mark, I'll put tree swallow for now. Okay. A coyote. He's wandered off into the back. I'll just show you him. He appeared over there like a fox would in the UK. And I got really good footage of him. Yeah, had to flick the video really quick. I was watching this black phoebe taking off, trying to get some flight shots, and it just wandered out. Did I feel in danger? No, I don't think, I mean, unless they get cornered or something, I think you're okay. Had its eye on something. There's a guy over on a bench and he kind of looked at him but didn't do anything. And the coyote kept his distance from me. He's gone in there somewhere. Maybe he's seen it. There's lots of squirrels here. There could be rabbits here as well, for sure. That's a nice little addition to the vlog. I keep meaning to go. I go, give it 2 more minutes, give it 2 more minutes, and then something else appears. We really go. We really must go. What I'll do is I'll just do a finish up because, yeah, I mean, I'll do it here. It's night and day difference to when I got here this morning. You remember how gloomy it was? Yeah. The sun has well and truly burnt off all of the mist. This has been awesome. Yes, no doubt. I've seen the pictures. I mean, I would have liked something like a skimmer, but not today. It'll come one day. You have to go at the right time of year, I believe. All the pictures that I saw on Google Maps were from months ago, so they might not be around now. There might not be winter birds. But if anything else happens between me and the car, I'll add it. But that's as good as it's going to get. I mean, yeah, what an amazing place. Like I say, it's one of the closer ones to where I'm staying, so I might come back here. We'll see. But amazing if I end it there. And yeah, give it a try. It's free. It looks like somewhere you could charge. I'd have paid $15 to walk through here. 20, 15, 10, $15. I would absolutely. They keep it really nice. It obviously costs money to do this. Yeah, ended with a coyote. Boom. All right. I'm going to head back to the car, get some lunch. I haven't eaten for 6 hours. I've been up since 6:30 a.m. It's now 12:30.